Hey KC, how you doing down there in the Big T state?
Right, doing very well. It is 100 plus degrees Fahrenheit, but I love it. It feels like I'm on vacation every day.
Pardon my cough. I've got some kind of a mashugna here I caught over the weekend. Getting older and things are chasing me, but they're not winning. And hey, you know what they call hot temperatures in Texas?
What's that?
Summer. So all you
Oh,
weenies, shut up, stay in, go to the mall, do something. Go out in a bar, have a cocktail, find a brewery, chill out. You know?
check, check, and check.
Yeah. So what do we got on the agenda tonight, Casey? We
Well, I
anything
mean, the
good?
past week and a half, there's been some wild stories all over the place, from the air all the way down to the bottom of the sea, if you know what I mean. But first of all, there's a plague upon our society.
Oh,
The fentanyl issues getting worse and worse. And
well,
there's someone you wanted to talk about.
yeah. You want to say enough is enough, but we'll just cut that short and call it eight is enough. It's that little annoying kid that was on the show back in the late '70s and '80s. I had younger brothers that would watch it, and I remember I'd be home visiting and be like, "Turn that crap off and go out and like throw rocks at each other and toughen up." Well, this kid, he never learned how to toughen up, so he just recently bit the big one, dirt bath, age 54, and what took him? What do you think, Casey?
The magic fentanyl.
Magic fentanyl. That's it. You got that right. You know what? And we hear it every day. All these, soccer players, football players. If it's not the COVID vaccines, it's fentanyl, or a combination of those two. It's crazy. When finally will our government step up, secure our borders, stop this crap from that's coming over, and really, we got to look at China and tell them enough's enough there. Not eight is enough. You're taking all our great actors. Nah,
Yeah,
not really, but you know what we're saying.
yeah. I don't understand it. It's a poison. It doesn't. I mean, it must be unbelievable because people still take the risk and do it. I don't know much about the drug game, but I thought the game was to keep your people alive so you can keep selling to them. But I guess that's changed. So I don't know. It's
Well,
madness.
yeah, that is bad. And you know what? I got friends that are still out there experimenting in their little weed and stuff because now they can get it in so many different places. And I just tell them, I go, man, you know, you gotta carry one of those pens with you that I can shoot you up when you go into a coma. What's that? I can't remember the drugs.
Yeah, the cops carry it to
Yeah,
keep because they come upon a scene first. Kind of absurd. Whatever it's called.
yeah. Uh, let me ask old the Google Nader here about fentanyl overdose meds. I can't. I'm like, Narcan. Jesus, how can we
Yeah,
forget about the good old the word Narcan?
exactly.
Thank gosh for the internet. See what it does for us old. But you know what? Fentanyl. Yeah, they had a carry on there. Like remember the medical alert things they used to have, and the old lady I phone and I can't get up commercials, and you get the medical alert and you hit the little thing on your neck, and so they should have the little. Yeah, I've taken fentanyl and I can't wake up thing, and it buzzes, and this little AI robot. You want to use AI, and this little robot comes up and sticks you in the neck and puts some Narcan in there, and you're up and running, ready to shoot up again or whatever the heck you're doing. But
Well, speaking of shooting up, we had some action and activity over in the area of the world, a friendly area, Ukraine-Russian border. And now, is it a hard W or a soft W? Is a Wagner Group?
well, we pronounce things differently. Watka, vodka, Wagner, right? What do you go with? I don't know. I mean, Wagner sounds more,
Eastern
peaceful
European.
stuff. I'm like, I can hold my cigarettes between my thumb and my middle finger and index finger up straight, or can I hold it just between my, John Wayne used to hold his cigarette. And that's right, I don't smoke, so it doesn't matter. So we're just gonna say for the hell of it, Wagner, because I'm a big fan of Ride of the Valkyries. Uh, Google it if you don't know that. And this guy, I don't know, Pagosian, whatever, is that his name? Doesn't matter. Bad dude. Get sick and tired of what's going on in Ukraine for some reason. Now here's the thing: we can't get into this guy's head because we don't know him, right? We don't know if he's got any family left alive in Russia because I know how Putin works. But he made a quick left turn after riding into a little town with about 1 million inhabitants of Russian people, just walking around minding their own business. They came in, they were getting all pissed off. They took over a military headquarters. Putin's Kremlin sent in some jets to see what was going on. This dude shot the jets out of the air. They had no resistance with that. And then all of a sudden, there's some deal being brokered, and now he and his guys are going to exile in Belarus, live life large, and everything's cool.
It all happened way too fast. What's going on here? I mean, Putin. The way it's portrayed is Putin's private little army. Contracts with these guys. The leader got fed up with something, starts saying, "I'm going to take over Russia," starts marching north. Some of the leaders of Russia egress, get to St. Petersburg, go elsewhere. Then, now we're like, all right, it's going down. Let's go. Next thing you know, it's over. They're going to Belarus, and this guy puts out his thing, no more bloodshed. And I saw whatever city he ended up in at first, there were people bringing his soldiers food, giving them drinks. Thank you so much. And then all of a sudden, it's done. I don't know. All I know is that the Pentagon found $6 billion that they could give to Ukraine last week, and then all of a sudden this happens. So who knows?
Well, it's another one of these stories. Just yeah, do they meet? Does anything meet? Um, yeah, our government, their accounting practices are kind of weird. It's like, oh man, we were like, oh, what are those weapons worth? Okay, $12 billion. Okay, so yeah, so we spent. Oh, wait a minute, wait. Let's change this up because we need some money to cover pay people off. Did we say how much they were worth? We were supposed to say how much did they cost, not what they're worth. So we only spent $6 billion. So we got an extra 2 billion just lying around, just like that. All done. Joe's happy. He's got Biden in the White House going on. Marine One, the helicopter stumping. You know what? That's good. These people are phony people. They're phony. Everyone. They're screwing us. They're phony. Everything they do is to keep our eye off the ball. And when you get a guy like this dude Prigozhin or whatever his name is from the Wagner Group who gets sick and tired, they come in and they kick butt. You know what I call this, Casey? I call this a preview, Americans. This is a preview.
Hmm.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Keep your Narcan close just in case there's a little too much other stuff mixed in. But this is a preview. When you put people in positions and they're doing things that they shouldn't do, uh, just like our president, the guy is a bumbling moron. He's if you pay attention, you read the real news lessons, and you listen to a guy named Bongino on the radio, and you go to his site and you read some of the articles. Bongino used to be a Secret Service agent. He was a New York cop. Uh, you know, he's got connections. Read some of his articles, folks. Listen to his blog. You know, and yeah, this is the preview to come. What's going on here? You think a bunch of idiots wearing funky uniforms walking around the Capitol January 6th was an insurrection? Baby, you ain't seen an insurrection yet. You wait. You know, those guys that are still in jail because they didn't get a speedy trial, they're gonna be watching TV, cheering some serious, and you people are gonna go. KC and Ray said it first. You know, but I'm not the only ones. We're not the only ones that said this. Yeah, this stuff's it's gonna be coming quick, and I hope you're prepared. And a couple weeks from now we'll be talking about some preparedness stuff, and I think you'll be happy if you listen to us. But hey, let's go on with another happy story.
Let's keep them rolling.
Keep going. This was a good one. Our Navy, we pay a lot of money for our Navy. I am, I was in the Navy, and I'm still kind of affiliated with the Navy, and I love them. They're great. They're so great that did you know, Casey? They're so great, and all the billions and trillions of dollars we send on listening devices around the world, they knew that the submersible imploded uh, last Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the moment it happened.
The good news is that this, you go this, that, and everything. The people never ran out of air. They didn't. No, there was no air in there, and it was okay because pancakes don't breathe air.
Hmm.
It imploded in like a microsecond. You know, it takes like 2 microseconds for the impulses to reach your brain from your nervous system.
Oof.
So the better news is these folks down here didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
They were going down, high fiving, going, "Isn't this fun?"
Hmm.
Next second, they're fist bumping St. Peter at the pearly gates, going, "Whoa, well,
What?
that was quick."
I
You know?
mean, here's the thing: the Titanic isn't going anywhere, man. It's exactly where it was the moment it went down. I venture a guess that mountains have moved in the past 100 years more than the Titanic has moved down at the bottom of that ocean.
Wow,
And
it moved like 12,000 feet one time.
that's one time, all at once, though. And then since then, it's
You
been
know,
pretty steady.
and Hollywood took advantage of it and made a what I thought was a mediocre movie about it. So,
Right.
you want to see the Titanic? Eh, go rent the movie.
Yeah. I just don't understand what the fascination is, what the intrigue is. And, and then the kicker is, oh, we're going to use this new carbon fiber. It's like, well, that's cool until it gets cold and gets brittle and then it
Yeah,
collapses.
you go down a couple times, and uh, it's funny. I was so I'm a big Toyota Tundra fan. I love the big trucks, the strength. These new ones with the 6 cylinders coming out, I have reservations. I know they're powerful with turbos, but we all have weak links. And I was listening to this guy, Scotty Kilmer. He's a mechanic on YouTube. He's got some great shows, and miraculously he's a Toyota fan too. And he's talking about the Tundra and how bad it is and stuff. But he goes, the bottom of the radiator is made out of like this plastic, high intensity plastic. Once plastic heats up and cools down a few times, it loses its integrity. All right. And you just have to realize that after 8 years or so, maybe 10, because that's nothing for a Tundra. 10 years is like a blink of an eye. It just laughs at you. But the bottom of the radiator, which is held together by this high intensity plastic, goes away.
Hmm.
And that's the same with these 12,000 feet. Now, any Jacques Cousteau fans out there, do you know and how deep you have to go to get an atmosphere of pressure on you? It's like
One atmosphere?
one atmosphere, 33 feet. You
Wow.
got a whole another atmosphere of pressure on you. 66, 99. The old Navy dive tables of yore used to call it 60 for 60. If you can go underwater for 60 feet for 60 minutes, you don't have to worry about the bends. Because then,
Oh,
yeah, you go out and you do, because there's just a lot of pressure that even at just or two atmospheres, it, that little much pressure just doesn't let your body release nitrogen.
hmm.
and dissolve properly and everything else. You open up a soda and it goes, shh. That's what happens to your body if you come up too fast after you've been down too long. And then you get the bends, it gets stuck in your joints and it can kill you. I mean, that's, so what you got to realize is, the owner of this submersible company was all, DEI, and we need to have people who are just imaginaries and not realists. So he didn't want to hire any white 50-year-old guys in his company, like like ex military Navy submarine dudes and designers who know what the heck they're talking about. So once again, like Putin with the Wagner Group, like Biden with the preview of what's coming for being incompetent. And there's a lot of stuff coming with him and his piece of crap son. Uh, you know what? We'll talk about that in a sec. You have to realize what's going on, and you just can't keep taking these things down. I mean, they like the Bahamas. They get this dude that takes people on little submarine trips, and not like 12,000 feet, just little, 100 or so feet. He's got to get this thing inspected every year by what the laws from Bahama, the United States. So once again, yeah, all this stuff's starting to really come back to
Mhm.
bite us. And
Well, it defies all logic. I mean, you look at the thing, and when something that's going to be going down 12,000 feet, as they say, thousands of pounds of pressure. I heard one thing. It was like it's like having an aircraft carrier balancing on your pinky finger. Is basically how much
the
force.
news is that doesn't hurt.
Right. But you look at the thing. It's kind of big, cumbersome. It's got, it's got a video recorder. I mean, no, it's got a video game controller. Like, what do we like? What what? So if that thing shorts out, now you've lost all control. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't. I heard, unfortunately, one of the kid in there, the 19-year-old, the nephew or the son, like really didn't want to go. And hey, maybe at 19 you can convince people, but I don't know what amount you could have paid me to get into a tin can like that and just be like, yeah, it's carbon fiber. Oh, so it's not steel, like
yeah.
reinforced steel.
Oh, that's cool. Carbon fiber. Yeah, what's that? Just let me have some more fentanyl because I don't know what's going on. you know, uh, but here's we talk about atmospheres of pressure, right? So they're at 12,500 feet, right? Uh, so they have roughly just a tad over 400 atmospheres of
Oof.
pressure on them. Which you want to talk about pounds per square inch? That's like 6,000 pounds per square inch
From all directions.
coming straight down on you.
It comes
That's
straight
the
down.
thing about water is in
Okay.
gravity, it just works straight down.
Oh.
So when you do all these things, so when you might want to like type in like how much does 1 gallon of water weigh, right? Uh, in pounds, since we're Americans. So that's like 8.34 pounds, right? Now a gallon of water. How big is a gallon of water? Just think about the milk you buy. Okay,
Hmm.
so let's just go 8 pounds for simple giggles. Let's just say you go down inside of uh, a little submersible, right? And the hatch is, I don't know, 20 inches. Okay. So on that hatch, you can fit 4 gallons of water in that, probably five. Looking at that thing the size of a milk bottle, 5 gallons. So there is over 40 pounds sitting on top of that, right?
Wow.
So for every 12 inches you go down, it's another 40 pounds, all right? So you go down, right? You go down 2 feet, 80 pounds. You go down 4 feet, 160 pounds, right? What's the average American? What can they bench press?
Average American.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's just say we're down 10 feet. Should I break out a calculator for new math, right? So 10 feet times 40 pounds, right? That's 400 pounds. There's no way in Hades can you even open a hatch up
Right.
at 10 feet. Probably can't even
Wow.
open it up at 5 feet because that's 200 pounds,
Yeah.
you know? So, anywhere from once you get down to a certain depth, forget about it. It's unforgiving down there, and it doesn't take long. So, shoot a little thing like that. Now, they get all that air in there, and the whole idea it's like a balloon, right? It pushes in because of the pressure. You get one little crack, you got shit in there. This thing just it's like you know my buddy. I've got a real good friend of mine. He's my old division officer when I was in the Navy, and he sails tall ships and does science projects with kids out of Woods Hole, Massachusetts. And they dropped this ROV thing down, and it went down like 8,000 feet. Big cable on it. They put it down to do this experiment, and he put a styrofoam cup on it, jammed it in this little spot. It went down and came back. So what is a regular like 16-ounce coffee cup styrofoam? It's no bigger than a thimble. It all compressed. Unbelievable because all the air in the styrofoam and whatnot. So our little bodies have no chance down there. So I would suggest you knuckleheads thinking about running a submersible company, maybe you ought to, you know, cut the diversity and inclusion out. Start hiring some people, whoever they are, who are best qualified on submarine design and all that scientific jazz, and give yourself a chance to survive.
Well, it's a nonsensical statement to say I want young visionaries when you're talking about things that takes years and decades of knowledge to handle and design for. You know, I don't care what color you are. You
Well,
know.
I just think of it as like this. We used to take the kids to Disney, Disney, and I know you're a big fan of Disney, and I like amusement parks and different things. Uh, so one time when I was a kid, we were on that monorail out in California, and something happened, and that thing got stuck. Wouldn't go forward, it wouldn't go backwards, and it's got those little space age doors that opened up, and we're stuck. We're stuck between the two big supports that hold up the track, and I was just a little kid, so I was like, "Yeah, this is cool. We're not moving." There's my mom sweating, holding my two little brothers, and my older brother. He's like, "We're gonna die. We're gonna die," because you know, and you're stuck, right? Well, and they have great engineers, right? At least they did. I don't know what they have now, but then a few years later, we're on a roller coaster ride at this place called Rocky Point, and it was this old great wooden roller coaster, and we start click 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 click, click going up, and I didn't even want to be there. I was 13 years old. I had my little brothers and my folks, and it was the 70s, and my folks are sitting there smoking their cigarettes in the car, and so I'm like, God, get me out of here. So we go on this thing, and it's going halfway up the very first hill because you got to get taken up to the top so that gravity and everything else shoots you down, and you have a good ride. Thing turned off. Click, like three-quarters of the way up. Like, I got my two little brothers, and my mother was on there because my dad didn't want to go, and I couldn't hold my two brothers. So I had one brother I'm kind of hanging on to. He was a little knucklehead, and the other ones, they're only like 5 years old. And I'm like, what's going on? My mom's like, I don't know. Next thing you know, these guys come walking up, and they start escorting the people one at a time down this little pathway running board thing, and they carried my little brothers separately and helped my mom, and I went down, and you know you, you can die in an instant
Mm,
anywhere on the
mm.
most innocent of things. So I think this whole diversity and equity thing, you got to put it in perspective. And yeah, we want everyone out there making good money in life and doing things, but you know, this is what happens when you put diversity, inclusion, and equity. Uh, DIE. Oh, how about that? When you put it in those orders, people die. This is just
It's true.
not good. Not good. So, uh,
Well, it is interesting that, and I understand some people said, the Navy should have done this, should have done that. But at the same time, we can't be divulging our exact capabilities to the enemy when the idea is to make sure none of those subs pop up outside of Washington, D.C., New York, Boston, Miami.
yeah.
So the Russian subs, of course, or others for that matter,
China, look out.
our friends in China.
Iran, here they come.
I wouldn't be too afraid of the Iranian submarines. I could be wrong.
Yeah, they're getting there. It's a tough thing. But the one other thing to point on, since I think the overarching idea of tonight's show is pointing fingers at people, right? Eight is enough. Yeah, we need to stop the drugs. People need to stop taking drugs. You know, grow up, man. 54 years old. Who are you thinking, dude? So get out of the drugs. Uh, Wagner, he got pissed off. The submersible, we held shit back. We're hiding it. And it's all about leadership. And I just got to say one thing about poor Mr. Hunter, going back to him. Yeah, he's a piece of crap. He really is. He wasn't really brought up that well, evidently, obviously, right? Because, you know, people never look at somebody who does very well, like you and your brother. You guys are great. Nobody stops your mother and father in a mall or at a restaurant and they go, your two kids are doing so great. Your parenting skills were excellent, right? No one gives your parents time of day when it comes to how you and your brother turned out, right? But, you know, if you were going smoking hash and smoking meth, taking drugs and, snorting Parmesan cheese or whatever the idiot said he was doing, you
Oof,
gotta look at his parents and go, man, you guys did it, because everyone does. You guys did a terrible job bringing that kid up. So,
horrendous.
but they're not saying that about Hunter and his, his dad and quasi mom, Dr. Jill, who's not a real doctor. Um, they just and during this whole thing, what he just got arrested. He just went through this thing, two misdemeanors for tax issues. Uh, and then lying on a gun application while you're a drug addict. It asks you if you are when you do that. And then
Mhm.
everyone goes, oh, why do these people have guns that commit this stuff? Well, then the dude's so high, he throws his gun or his girlfriend or sister-in-law or girlfriend. It's confusing. Throws the gun in a dumpster. And, then our FBI, CIA, or Secret Service has to go dumpster diving to cover the tracks. You know, folks, this is just a preview.
Mm.
Right? It's just a preview. Get get your stuff ready. Pay attention the next couple of weeks and see what we have to say. I think all joking aside, we like to have fun here, but this is a preview.
Well, thanks, Ray. And most importantly, who brought us this show this evening? What is the name of that app?
Oh my lord, the Go Do app. Those folks, good folks, great app. And you've heard it from me before. I love the brewery part of it, man. You just go somewhere. Um, I was buzzing around, and I can tell you what state it is in case you're up in New Hampshire running around and you think it's me. You see, oh, did I give it away? You just open the app up, geolocate you. You hit the little tab for breweries. Tells you all the closest breweries. If people are there rating them, you get to see what they're rating. If the owners are rating them and showing pictures of what's going on today, and then you can click a little tab that'll give you directions. You go, this place looks fun. How do you get there? And you click on it, it opens up another window, and the Google Nader takes you right there. Unbelievable.
Beautiful.
These guys
That's
thought of everything.
the Godu app, GODU, on Apple App Store and Google Play. Ray, I think we're all caught up. Some wild news stories. We almost had World War III. We've got the Titanic death count rising, first time since 1912. And well, let's just say the word on the street is the president has retained a defense attorney. I don't know why a president would need a defense attorney, but here we go.
Why would the president of the United States need to take an equity loan out on his house also?
These are questions.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, until next time, Ray, stay above water, will you?
All right, man.